Hello. I see that Cindy and George are here. So let me see. Oh, wow, you can see my heater. I've got my, there. All right. Okay, astronomers got tired of watching the moon rotate around Earth for 24 hours, so they just called it a day. Cute, George. What did the duck say when she put lipstick? Put it on my bill. That's cute too. Hi, Carolyn. Goo. I think, oh, good morning. At least you guys are making me laugh. Lauren, yes, it's cute and funny. Good morning, Lynn and Dave. Michael, good morning. Okay, I'm going to do my best today to be my happy camper self, but I am not a happy camper today. Oh, I had my second vaccine yesterday and my arm is so sore. So sore all night long and just sore. So I don't know if any of you experienced that, but it's definitely not fun. Let me see. Yeah, it was a typo. I know that. Monday osteo class, Zoom or YouTube? My Monday is on Zoom. My 4-week lifestyle osteoporosis course is on Zoom for 4 weeks in a row. And we meet for the hour and a half. I share information. We do every week we'll do things, except the last week is mostly on nutrition. So a lot about nutrition and feeding the bones. And but the other we do, not necessarily like a whole class, we're learning. So it's more of a tutorial. And then you get a lot of information. I give you a nutrition guide and I give you probably 12 to 18 videos because there's tutorials. So you have things to keep. And that's my real focus, is creating lifestyle programs so that I'll be here every week teaching, guiding, always, to keep my body strong, to keep your body strong and our minds strong as well. And then I'm going to create lifestyle courses so that I can share all this other amazing aspects of yoga that I use in my life to balance my hormones, my biology, my bones, my strength, and everything that I use in my life. I want to share that on a deeper level. So that's the answer to your question, Lauren. That's my Monday night osteoporosis lifestyle. And you know, the thing is, statistically, the National Osteoporosis Foundation reports that 1 in 2 women over age 50 will have a fracture in her lifetime related to osteoporosis. So this is really something we need to raise our awareness to. And we don't want to end up at 80 where we haven't prepared and we're not in a position to have strong bones, and then we show up in that place. That's what I'm really want to do, is get people to take care of themselves now, because it's a lot harder to add bone tissue, to add muscle tissue, than it is to maintain what you have or to slow down or stop the degeneration of bones and muscles and nervous system communication, which is what happens as we're aging. So really on a mission for that. Nancy, good morning. So happy, Nancy, that you felt great on Wednesday. And hopefully that'll be the same for you today as well. George, good morning. And good morning to everyone. Stevie, good morning. Yeah, I'm going to go easy. I was reading this morning, so I did a little search on why does your arm hurt after a COVID vaccine? And it was talking about the deltoid muscle and it's intramuscular. So I have been trying. And then, you know, I don't know if you know this about me, but I don't want to say I love to suffer. I welcome whatever lessons are thrown my way. So for me, this is a lesson into those that I work with that have issues in their shoulder and how challenging movement is. So I'm going to be so empathetic for all my people with shoulder issues when I realize the pace at which I have to move this arm in order to keep it safe. So anyway, I just welcome all of the lessons that are sent to me in life. All right, Vi. Wow, hi Vi. I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. But I know you're there, so I'm going to visualize you and all the flexibility and the movement you have in your body. I'm going to think about your knees that don't like to bend so much. So you're in my thoughts, all of you. So when you come, I'm like, okay, I know what's happening here and here and here. And then I modify accordingly. All right, so Joanne, good morning. A little late, better late than never, right? You're here. Okay, perfect. So I have something in store for you today. I don't know if those of you that are late heard me. I had my second vaccine yesterday and I am not happy. If I were a 2-year-old right now, I would be temper tantruming because that's how I feel. I feel like, and then it's also kind of nice to have to do a lot of self-care, extra self-care. So I put on really nice perfume that is from Spain. I have my fleece pants on that I would take to Scotland. So a lot of self-care is going on, and that's going to happen for you guys as well. So let me see. Yeah, Stevie, I try to make the lemons from lemonade. You know why? Because here's the deal. Suffering is an option. Because we have the choice to shift our mind to not suffer. And I know that that sounds crazy because for a lot of us, we don't even think of it in those terms, or we don't even realize we have the tools. So that's what I do. So here I am making lemonade out of my lemons always. And I don't put vodka in it anymore or tequila like I used to. So I used to do that, but I don't really because it'll mess with my hormones and I need all the hormones I can get at this point in my life. All right, so let's begin. If I seem a little silly today, just know that I'm in a place of, I'm not my normal self. I'm my second vaccine self. All right, so let's begin. Stress reduction, the focus for today's practice is going to be on first taking stress out of the mind. So the first opening part is going to be, I'm going to share with you a mantra. Mantras are mind tools, something we repeat over and over. And most of us have mantras we repeat over and over. Quite often they're not positive mantras. I'm getting old, my knees are bad, I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that, right? So we're going to use this mantra that actually the Alzheimer's Prevention.org uses, and it actually stimulates a part of our brain that brings us away from that stress mode that we live in. And so we're actually going to move to a different part of our brain. That's one aspect. And then I'm going to read what else it says. So master our mind. This is called Kirtan Kriya, and that's Kirtan. And a kriya is a cleansing ritual. That's what that word kriya means. If you've heard of the word kriya, it's movement to unkink the hose. So whether the hose is your blood vessels, your muscles, your nerve pathways, whatever it is, or let's even say your emotions. So if we have a lot of negative thoughts, we're kind of stuck in patterns, whether it's present moment patterns or lineage, right? Because that's a big thing, is our patterns that we get stuck in. So this is going to be a way for us to clean what we think we are, what we think we should be, what Aunt Sally was, and I'm just like Aunt Sally, or any things we keep telling ourselves that are not good. So let me read this. Emotional balance. So this is a mind tool for emotional balance, mental clarity, reduces stress, helps to release painful memories. So there goes what Aunt Sally has that you think you're going to be like, but maybe you're not, or you're not going to be. Changes brain patterns. So we're going to set down new neurological circuits, which is important. Helps to change addictions and create new habits. Whole brain healing. Let me see what the next part is. Okay, who the heck doesn't want that so far? And here's more. Clinical research has shown that practicing Kirtan Kriya for just 12 minutes a day can improve cognition and activate parts of the brain that are central to memory. So the cognitive decline has actually become the most prominent thing that females worry about. And maybe it's also for males too, it's just that us females seem to have the higher incidence of osteoporosis, of cognitive decline, and of all of these things. So whatever the reasons are for that. And so cognitive decline is the biggest fear of many. And so this is also for that, to help to stimulate our brain and exercise our brain. So I'm going to play that for us today. And here's what we do when we'll do that. Let's take your hands out. We're going to repeat these sounds: sa, S-A, ta, T-A, na, N-A, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Take your thumb to your pointer finger, sa, then to the middle, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Now, she's going to sing. She has a beautiful voice. It'll be about 11 minutes for this practice. The first 2 minutes, you're going to actually sing with a full voice. So even if you're not comfortable with your voice, it's like this: sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Just meaning that you have a voice. That's 2 minutes. The next 2 minutes is a whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Then there's 4 minutes of silence, yet you repeat it in your brain, so you actually see sa, ta, na, ma, and you still do. And I'm going to say that even if you want to make your mouth move when you do this. And then it goes back to 2 minutes of whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na. And then it goes back to 2 minutes of full voice. Sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. Anyway, she has a beautiful voice. You'll listen to her. There's little chimes that indicate when it's time to change. Don't worry, just follow along. Make sure you do the hand signals. If you want to take this to the maximum potential healing that this Kriya has, you could visualize that coming into the crown of your head in the shape of the letter L, coming into the crown of the head and leaving the third eye, or this point right between the eyebrows, that whatever energy, light source, whatever you want to visualize, like the shape of the letter L. And if you want to read more about this, alzheimersprevention.org has the link to this. And then this is also a YouTube channel that I am going to play. All right, so let's get ourselves really comfortable. I've chosen to come into an elevation today. I'm elevating my bolster, putting myself up. I want to share things with you that you could do off of your mat or when I'm not guiding you in a class. And I think that this is a really beautiful one, the Kirtan Kriya. I use this often with people I work with privately. I share this. And I learned this in India from a woman who worked with people with cancer. And this is what she uses a lot with the people that she worked with that have cancer. All right, so props to the side, a strap for later. Since I'm doing a little extra self-care for myself today because I'm feeling kind of I'm going to weight myself with another blanket. I'm going to put this blanket across my belly so I feel that nice, like a hug, a blanket hug. All right, so let's come all the way down. And get your fingers ready. So remember, sa, ta, na, ma. Have your hands alongside your body. Be in whatever comfortable position you can be in. And by the way, you could do this seated as well. So when you could do it seated, and you'll get that real good feeling of energy coming in the crown of the head and leaving at the third eye. So make yourself comfortable first, please. Taking care of you, letting go, letting go. Bring your hands alongside your body. Let her voice guide you. And begin when she does, and we'll end when she does as well. Let's begin. Satanama, 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 Bring your awareness to your breath. Bring your awareness to your body. Bring your awareness to your feet and to your hands as you begin to move them. Closing your eyes and feeling that. Communicating to your hands, to your feet, where 50% of the bones are and 50% of the joints in the body. And it is in the joints that inflammation can cause a lot of pain. So really articulate, get that moving, squish and move around arthritic deposits that may be circling around in your tissues. We're going to come onto our side so we can come to a seated position. So depending on where you are, whether you have an elevation of a bolster or you're on the ground, just come over to your side. Let your spine move into this position here. And then you're going to Push yourself away from the floor. Don't pull yourself up with your head. Don't stress out your upper back and neck muscles by letting your head lift you up. Push away from the floor to come up to seated. Learning how to move differently to preserve certain aspects of your body or to keep you out of future pain. All right, let's see. Got to put this back on my clock. All right, perfect. I'll share that in the link below, that song. It's a really nice thing for you to do. You push play and you do the finger position and use your voice, full voice, whisper, quiet, and do some brain yoga. Ward off that cognitive decline. All right, let's take our props off to the side. You'll need a block and a strap. Take your blanket at the top of your mat. I'd like us to have an intention for today's practice, and this is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to replace resistance with acceptance. Resistance, acceptance. So that whatever you do today with your body, when you come to a place where the joints are sore or you have stickiness in your body or issues in your tissues, when you come up to that place and you want to say, oh, wait, that's resistance. I want you to accept whatever it is and come into it with a softening of acceptance so you could see whatever your body will allow for you to do in terms of movement. All right, let's come all the way down onto the ground. Have your blanket there. Bring yourself down. If you do have osteoporosis, reach your arm out to the side to come down so you keep your back nice and neutral curve. Bring your head, so your head is supported by the blanket. Make sure it's not your upper back, so just the head. And try to have as little as you can, because this is an opportunity for you to do a little postural correction and to stretch some of those small, tiny muscles that are on your spine. So when we're in this position, if you keep your head as low as you can comfortably. So don't, put something really big under there. And I know some of you need to fold up something pretty substantial. Make it as least substantial as you need. All right, let's come into a full body stretch, feeling where you are right now, what's going on in your body, how does this feel? Really reach nice and long. So we just did what's called a Kriya, which is a cleansing movement for the brain. Now we're going to do a little cleansing for the body, moving in a movement pattern so we get everything to squish and unkink our hoses. Inhale, arms are overhead. As you exhale, push your belly button to your spine and draw your right knee into your chest. Inhale, hold on to your right knee with your right arm and take your right knee out to the side. Let your pelvis be stable. The only thing that's moving is the upper leg bone. And then on the exhale, guide that right knee over to the left, switch the hand. Feel that tension in the hip. Let's unbend on the inhale, bend on the exhale. Inhale to unbend, exhale to bend. One more time. Inhale, unbend. Come towards as straight of a leg as you could get. Point your foot to feel that beautiful stretch along the top of the foot and lengthen your leg down, pressing your belly button towards your spine. Go slow here. Quads, hip flexors, core. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, slowly draw the left knee in. Inhale to open the left knee to the left. You can let the right hand go to the right. Feel that inner thigh stretch. And then exhale to guide the leg across the body. Switch hands. Holding on behind. Inhale to unbend. Exhale to bend. Inhale. Whatever range of motion you have is perfect. And last one. Come into as straight of a leg as you can. Point the foot nice long. Contract your core as you lengthen all the way down. Let's do 3 rounds of that. 1 breath, 1 movement, except when we do the hamstring, we'll do 3 of those. All right. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, right knee in. Inhale, right knee to the right. Exhale, draw that leg across the body. Inhale to unbend. Exhale, bend. Go to your full range of motion. Inhale, unbend. Exhale, bend. 1 more. Inhale to unbend. Point the foot. Lengthen that leg lower, lower, lower. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, draw that left knee in. Inhale to open the left knee to the left. Exhale, draw that knee towards the right. Hold on behind. Inhale, unbend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, unbend. Exhale, bend. One more. Inhale to unbend. Point the foot, straighten that leg. 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale, right knee in. Inhale, right knee to the right. Exhale, cross the body. Inhale, stretch that hamstring. Lengthen that leg, flex. Point that top part of your foot, lengthening, lengthening. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more on this side. Point foot, go slow here. This is quad, hip flexor, core. Last time through, inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, right knee in. Let's remove stress that's hiding in your body, in your tissues, in a constant contracted muscular state. Inhale, exhale. And then the stress of inflammation in the joints. Let's get everything to move, to circulate, to flow. Last side, inhale, exhale, left knee in. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Inhale, unbend, exhale, bend. Inhale, exhale, last one. Point your foot, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Let's go ahead and bend our feet. Not quite mat distance. Push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up. And when you put your pelvis down, posteriorly tilt your pelvis. That means it's like the word tucking is what people use. It's not correct, but I know that that's what you'll understand. So I'm going to say tucking. So that when you put the pelvis back down, the top edge of your pelvis goes onto the floor, keeping a lot of length in that lower lumbar spine, because we're going to do a little bit of rotation here and the low back muscles are going to be a part of this. Feet are not as wide as your mat. Arms are out to the side. Try to go out to the side at first. Notice what you notice in your chest and shoulder. And then if you're able to come into a bent arm position, if today's an okay day for you to do that, try that. Let's allow the knees to go side to side, keeping the soles of the feet on the floor. So keep the soles of your feet on the floor. Definitely going to limit your range of motion, isolating it in the hip, not bringing the low back to the party yet. Close your eyes, make sure this feels okay. Lubricating that hip joint and the muscles that move the leg. Windshield wiper action, one of my favorite movements to do. And then bring yourself back up to center. Let's take the feet really wide so that the heels are on the mat and the toes are off. And let's begin to go a little bigger here. Keep your eyes closed. Your body could tell you, yeah, that's far enough, or sure, this feels good, I could do that. Listen to your body, the safer you will get yourself when it comes to moving. I can't tell you how many times people tell me about it had to do with some silly that they were doing. I was just bending down and reaching for, and I pulled my back. I was just putting on my shoes and blank. I couldn't walk for a week. You know, may have happened to you. So let's really understand our body and how it moves. Let's keep it really nice and fluid. And let's do this because this is the only one we're living in this time around. This is it. This is what you got right here. So let's help it be the best it can be. The next time you go over to the left, stay there. Let the weight of the legs go. That's going to stretch, hopefully appropriately, what you need. Take your right hand off the floor, flex your right hand, and then push the right big toe edge of your foot into the floor and push the right kneecap away from you. Lengthening that upper leg bone, lengthening that hip joint, lengthening the waist, and just experience this feeling, and then bring in acceptance, let go of resistance, and only go to where you can so that acceptance of this movement is where you stay. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself slowly back up to center. Allow the knees to go over to the right. Slowly let them find themselves there. Let the muscles safely arrive. And then activate that left hand, flex the wrist, reach that left hand away, and lengthen that left leg bone, the upper leg bone, by pushing the left big toe edge into the floor, drawing that left knee away, and stretching this left side body. Stretching your arm, your shoulder, your wrist, your spine, your hip joint, a lot of joint stretching here. So feel that in your body with acceptance. Stay away from resistance. So only go to the place that acceptance exists. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. If we move with acceptance in our body for the rest of our lives, we can keep first of all, we'll repattern our brain from going to the negative mantras of, I can't move, I'm getting old, I've got a bad knee, all of that stuff. We'll repattern that. We'll also know what is safe. And I think there's a little bit more movement available in the place of acceptance than there is in the place of resistance. Because it's almost like we grit our teeth going into something if we're resisting, and that tension comes in the muscles, and it's hard for them to stretch when they're tense, right? Okay, if you make a fist, like think of that, that's what your muscles are doing with resistance, and then take your fist and soften it, that's acceptance. And if you look at your palm when you do that, make a fist, you could see white, right? Because you're squishing and compressing the blood out of the capillary beds, out of the soft tissue. And then when you come and open, you see how the red starts to come back. Well, that red is your communication. That's your blood that's delivering your magnesium and your calcium and your zinc and your vitamin D and all of that to the tissues, to the cells. So we need to have that resistance gone and be in a place of acceptance. All right, let's do a little bit to stretch our neck here and to start to warm up the spine. So take the blanket away from the back of the head or bring as little behind your head as you need. And I want you to feel your rib cage on the floor. We're going to lift our pelvis up. So we're going to use the back of the body, the glutes, the hamstrings, to lift the heavy weight of our pelvis off the floor. And I want you to feel your rib cage, that you only come up to about the heart. You don't go any higher than that. We're going to also rotate our neck side to side. So let's bring the arms down alongside the body. Take the feet up off the floor, unbend so that you come into a place of neutral. And then we're going to begin with the right arm. So karate chop the floor, pinky edge of the hand touches, thumbs are up towards the sky, palms are facing inward. And then push the low back into the floor. So you come in with a tilt. Squeeze the tushy, push all parts of your foot, not just the heel, not just the toes. Inhale to lift your pelvis away from the floor, not too high, just so you come up to where you're lifting right where the heart is, and then stop. And then let your head rotate to the left as far as it'll go. Let your right hand come to the floor as far as it'll go. Maybe your thumb can touch the floor. And then when you exhale, place the vertebra down on the floor one at a time. So go slow and articulate your spine. Inhale to lift. Be in your body, what's appropriate for you. Exhale to lower. Close your eyes. Acceptance. Stay away from resistance. When you get towards resistance, say, I accept that I can no longer go any farther. And you know what? If you keep using it and keep practicing yoga, you will be able to go farther because you'll start to bring more mobility into your joints, increase your range of motion, and you'll train your brain in the way you need to stop bulldozing through life and to go a little slower, especially for those of you that have a little more testosterone in your bodies. That bulldozing through life acceptance, let go of resistance. On your next inhale, I want you to inhale acceptance. And on the exhale, I want you to let go of resistance. Inhale acceptance. Exhale resistance. If you want to think deeper, inhale acceptance of all the things you cannot change and never will change in your life. Let go on the exhale with resistance. And then one more. Bring yourself back to center. Take your feet wider now so that your heels are, you're at the edge of your mat, but you're still not all the way off yet. Begin by flattening your low back. So if you need to push your feet in, pick your pelvis up, and then place your pelvis back down on the floor. Arms are alongside your body. Let's squeeze the tushy and lift the tushy up on the inhale. Exhale to put the tushy down. Now I only want you to lift the tushy and the low back away from the floor so the ribs stay on the floor. Working that glute mid, which is supportive for hip joint health and pelvic positioning. So this is important for stabilizing our pelvis. Lengthen the back of your neck. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. Feel any shakiness that happens. When there's shakiness, that means that there's confusion. So maybe muscles you don't use very often. And the muscle's like, whoa, well, that's a good sign. So if you're shaking, then yes, you may be using something you haven't used for a long time. And it's a use it or lose it. So if you're using it, you're not going to lose it. Come back to center. Let's go wider now with the heels on the mat. The toes are off. Begin by flattening the low back into the floor. Squeeze the tushy. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Hopefully you're feeling nice and warm in the tushy area, right where the legs attach to the body. All these different positions are strengthening the muscles that move the leg bone. So the hip joint, this is all hip joint stabilization and pelvic stabilization. Well, who doesn't need that? Push your feet into the floor, lift yourself up. If you want to continue with inhaling acceptance, let it be deep for you. That means you're going to let go of all of the things you hold on to that no longer serve you, that weigh you down, that cause you to be sad or worried or fearful. Exhale, resistance. Inhale, acceptance. On your last one, I'd like you to come up and stay up. Lengthen the back neck. Ribs are on the floor. Little pulses here. Push your feet into the floor, the toes, all 5 of them. Pinky toe, edge, and heel. Press into the floor. Little pulses. Feel that nice burning in your tushy. And then let's go ahead and bring yourself back down. Walk your feet closer. Bring your head onto the blanket. Bring your feet in. I'd like us to stretch our glutes. So I'm going to show you this. For some of you, you're going to be like, what? And many people are able to do this more than they think. Take your right ankle over your left ankle. So the right lower leg bone over the left lower leg bone. Take your hands wide and out to the side. And then tuck your chin towards your chest, lift your head up, reach and grab for your feet. And then go ahead and lie back down. Lie back down or lay back down? Okay, wait. Chickens lay eggs. We lie down, right? I think we lie down and the chicken, and then we lay things down on top of us, right? Okay, I got it. I know that you're thinking, Joanne, you've tried to clarify this for me before. Remember, I'm going to learn how to speak at one point in my life, maybe. All right, and you know what? I'm going to let go of the resistance of whether it's right or not. So you're going to pull your legs towards you, stretching your glutes, putting yourself in this externally rotated position, stretching those muscles we just worked. If you're not able to grab onto your feet, keep your legs crisscrossed and go grab onto below the knees, drawing the knees wide and towards you. Take one more breath. And then let's do the other side. So now the left lower leg bone goes on top of the right lower leg bone. You're going to lift your head up if you need to grab your feet, and if you can, pull your feet away from each other. So the left foot goes towards the right and the right foot goes towards the left. Definitely intensifies that stretch. And we just worked those muscles of the glutes, glute minimus, the tiny glute, which attaches that leg bone. And you know what else this does? This, what I've been learning from my functional chiropractor is that the hamstring muscle group and then that glute minimus helps to position the pelvis. So for those that have pelvises that are a little bit off, that's going to help you if you keep those muscles strong to stabilize and keep it in the position it needs to be in. All right. So far, so good. Let's do a little bit for our core here. Let's take the block between our knees. So block or something rolled up. When you have the block between your knees and you squeeze your legs together, you turn on the stabilizing aspects of the pelvis. You keep yourself linear. So when it comes to balance, you know, if you're walking on a tightrope, you're trying to keep everything into the center, right? So when we squeeze our legs together, it actually activates pelvic floor and all the stabilizing aspects of the spine and of the pelvis. So I don't want you to just put that block there and think you're just squeezing and I really want you to understand that there's this deep stabilizing quality and alignment quality of putting the block between your legs. So I want you to be serious about it. Take your hands, clasp your hands behind your head. Let your arms go out to the side. So this may actually bring in some stretch for some of you when you do this, stretching some of those postural muscles. And then let's do a little bit of pulsing with the legs on the block so that you feel those stabilizing muscles turn on, right? Because stress is behind every ailment that we have, or they say 90%, but it's like, really, it's behind everything. So what does it mean? Well, stress could be that your body is weak and your alignment is off. And so your body's fighting all the time to hold yourself in alignment. So by doing this, if you fortify and strengthen your physical body, then you minimize the effects of stress from a musculoskeletal sense and from a physiological sense, right? So I feel very free in this class to teach so many aspects of what that word stress and all the ways we could do stress management. Arms are to the side. Let's exhale, squeeze the block. Press the belly button to the spine, flatten the low back into the floor, point the tailbone away from you. And as you inhale, push your tushy into the floor and rock towards your tailbone. And your low back will move away from the floor, but your pelvis stays down on the floor. Exhale, push your belly button to your spine, flatten your low back. You're doing some spinal undulation. Inhale, tailbone goes towards the floor. Maybe you could feel those deep muscles stretching in your belly when you do this. All right, we're going to bring the upper body to the party. Inhale, tailbone is pressed into the floor, pelvis is pressed into the floor, low back is away from the floor. And as you exhale, contract your core, lift your upper body, bring your chin towards your chest, bring your elbows towards each other, point your tailbone up towards the sky, point your crown of your head up towards the sky, flatten your low back, and inhale to lower. If you have osteoporosis, I want you to keep your elbows out to the side and the nose up towards the sky, moving the low spine through flexion, but keeping the upper spine in more of a neutral curve. Inhale to lower for all of you. Low back comes away from the floor, pelvis is on the floor. Exhale, undulate your spine, chin to chest, elbows towards each other if you do not have osteoporosis. If you have osteoporosis, keep your nose pointing up towards the sky and your elbows out to the side. Close your eyes and feel this. On your next exhale, rise up. Exhale resistance out of your spine, out of the movement, out of what you want to do or think you should do. And inhale acceptance. Exhale resistance. Inhale. One more. Squeeze your block, flatten your low back, and then bring yourself all the way down. Let's do a little rotation. Keep your right arm in the floor, squeeze the block, push your feet into the floor. Inhale. As you exhale, lift yourself up and guide your left elbow towards the outside of your right knee. Right arm is on the floor. Inhale to lower. Exhale to rise. Inhale to lower. Rotation, trunk rotation. You need this motion to be able to bend down and to reach for something in the corner and not pull your back out when you do it. Go slow, feel the burning, feel the muscles working. Stay with your breath, stay with your body, stay with this moment. Finishing up with your left side. Bring yourself all the way down. Boy, does my midsection feel great. All right, let's take a strap. Let's stretch the foot, bring the right foot in. Take the strap on your foot and go all the way up and down your foot. It's called flossing the foot. Feel the heat. So squishing whatever's hanging around in the muscles of the foot back into the system. For those of you with cramps that get a lot of cramps at night, keeping this part of your body mobile is important. So let's take the stress out of the foot and the calf area and the shins. Hold your strap in the middle of your foot. Wrap your hands around. You could keep your knee bent if you'd like. And then draw the leg towards the floor. Feel the right tushy cheek pressing into the floor. If you want to take the left leg straight, you can, or you can keep it straight or bent or whatever. And then draw that right leg towards the wall behind you, pulling down strongly and behind you. Feel that tension. Let it go on your exhales. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's do a little bit of a little bit of ankle joint stretching. So keep the kneecap stable. The kneecap is pointing towards the wall behind you. And you're going to pull on the strap that's in the right hand. So it goes into the pinky toe edge of the foot. And then you're going to pull on the strap that's in the left hand, that's in the arch. And your foot is going to bend to the left. The sole of the foot is facing the left, and you'll feel a deep ankle joint stretch. Right and left. Right and left. And then bring yourself back to center. That's a hard movement for a lot of people to get because this leg stays stationary and you're articulating that ankle. And for some, that communication of how to do that may be a little sticky. Let's come to the top part of the foot. Look at your foot, the widest part of your foot, the widest part. Pull the foot towards you, slightly bend your knee, right? It's really slight. You're not doing this. It's not a big bend. Here's straight. It's a tiny bend. The minute you introduce the bend, you take away the tension from that calf, or you take away most of the tension from the calf. I know some of you are pretty tight, so that may not be, you still might feel this. Pull the strap down, inhale, and then as you exhale, straighten that leg, pull the toes towards you, inhale. I know this is intense. Exhale, let go of resistance. Inhale, acceptance. Exhale, let go of the resistance of the intensity of this stretch. It's very intense. Inhale, acceptance. Last one, exhale, resistance. Let go of the resistance, just accept it, accept that stretch. And then go ahead and release. Let's come to the other foot. Take the foot up in the sky, put the strap in the arch. Pull the leg down so you deeply rooted in the hip joint and you feel that left tushy cheek touching the floor. You feel the heaviness and the pressure of you pulling down towards the floor. If you want to come into a straight right leg, you could do that. Pull that leg down. Knee could be bent if you'd like, and then draw that leg back towards the wall behind you. Deep breaths to your belly. Pull down. Inhaling acceptance, exhaling resistance. Let it be soft. Let resistance melt your suffering of the stretch, if that's happening for you. And then go ahead and release, bring yourself back to center. We're going to articulate the ankle joint, keep the whole leg straight. The upper leg bone and the lower leg bones are straight. The kneecap points behind you and it doesn't move at all. As you pull on the left strap where the pinky toe edge is, you pull on the right strap where the big toe edge is. Left, right. Feel that stretch. So amazing to stretch this part of your body. Very precarious. You know, any weight-bearing injury, foot, ankle, knee, hip, is terrible. Terrible. I've broken a bone in my foot. I've had 2 hip surgeries. It sucks. And it's very hard to keep staying in the happy place when you have effects in these areas of your body. So let's keep them mobile, limber. Let's take away tension and the stress in these joints. Keep them always moving so that we can live a very happy, healthy life. All right, come to the top part of your foot. Keep your knee slightly bent. You're going to take an inhale here. As you exhale, unbend the knee. Yes, go to that place of tension. Inhale, acceptance. Exhale, tension. Release, acceptance. Inhale, acceptance. Exhale, resistance. And then go ahead and release. You know what I find fascinating about that one? I will tell you that the calf stretch is a very powerful stretch to stretch the calf muscles. Let's bring your legs up into the air while I'm talking. Point your feet if you'd like here. If you want to do a little bit more for your feet, you could turn them around in circles. Stretching these calves is really uncomfortable. Even if you have a pretty limber body, a lot, it's very uncomfortable. So if you were feeling a lot of tension there, know that you're not alone. And what I find so fascinating is if you bring the word acceptance with your inhale, it's the inhalation that we go into the deepest part of that stretch. So there is a softening. It's like, okay, well, here I am. I got to accept it. And there is some kind of acceptance. It's a good thing to do. Articulate your ankles around in a circle and then go in the opposite direction. So right now we're giving our heart a break. We're allowing the fluids to come to the heart and to the head. And the calves are the second most important muscle for the circulatory system. The first, of course, is the heart itself, and the second is the calves. So let's do a little bit of contraction for the calves. Contract, squeeze the heck out of them, and then soften them as you accept. And then tension, tension, tension. And then go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. So much easier if we just let whatever is be what it is. All right, let's roll on to our right side or our left side, whatever direction you're facing. You're not going to let your head pull you up. You're going to push yourself away from the ground to bring yourself up onto all fours. We're going to articulate our spine. We did it on the floor with the block between our knees. We're going to do it here. Oh my goodness. All right. Be on your wrist if you can. If you need to modify. Walk your hands farther away so you have a pretty nice lengthened spine. We're going to articulate our spine, 26 vertebra. Let's come into the safe extension position for most people. So this is safe for most. And even those of you with low back issues where you're trying to minimize spinal extension, you're also extending your thoracic, your cervical, and that actually relieves the excessive pressure on that lumbar. Point the tailbone up towards the sky, point the crown of the head up towards the sky. Accept this, let the rib cage fall towards the floor, push the heart towards the floor. Feel the stretch in the belly. Let your belly be soft. Inhale. As you exhale, begin to zipper up your belly. Push your belly up towards your spine. So you point your tailbone down. And then stop if you have osteoporosis, pushing the low back up towards the sky, staying in a neutral in the thoracic spine and cervical. And if you do not have osteoporosis, come into the full flexion, letting your head point down towards the ground and the tailbone pointing down towards the ground. Inhale to bring yourself, all of us, into extension. Inhale, acceptance. Exhale, let go of resistance. Even if you have osteoporosis and you're not allowed to bend your upper spine and you had a hard time accepting that, I want you to let that go on the exhale. Inhale, acceptance for whatever I have in my body, wherever I am. Exhale. Last one. And then bring yourself back. All right. Let's come all the way up onto our shins. All right. Let's take the leg out to the side. Now we did stretch our ankle joint, so hopefully this is feeling nice for you. And your toes are pointing forward. Your entire foot is touching the floor. Your pinky toe edge is pushing into the floor, the heel and the top of the foot. So really let that be nice and long. Okay, so we're going to laterally flex over towards the side where the leg is. You could bring your hand onto your shoulder, especially if you have shoulder issues and you're being careful with this shoulder. And you are going to laterally flex, bend over to the side. If you do not have shoulder issues, bring your hand all the way up and over. So do what's appropriate for you and your body. Reach your hand down your leg, push that foot into the floor, lift that arch off the floor laterally, so side bending your body. Reach that elbow or that hand up towards the sky. Feel that big stretch on the side of your body. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. Go slow. Let's go to the other side. Take your foot out to the side. If you needed to put your foot forward because there's a lot of tension in the hip, just notice that and do that. Correct for yourself if you need to. So come into this, let your pelvis kind of move back and forth a little bit here so you soften up those adductor muscles. Push that foot into the floor, activate, lift that arch off. Take your hand on your thigh, hand down alongside your body, either holding on, shortening the lever if you have shoulder issues, or using your entire arm if you're able to. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself back. All right. So we began today's practice in the mind, repatterning, resistance and acceptance. We're going to end in the pelvic floor. So for any of you that have heard of the chakras in yogic wisdom, the energetics, like we're energetic beings. So there's energy centers that are along our body. The bottom part of us, the pelvic floor area, is for grounding. And so I think this is really important, especially for those of you that have diagnoses of any kind, especially some of the bigger diagnoses. That could be cancer, osteoporosis. It's like the rug gets pulled out from under you. And of course, if you're dealing with any other kind of issues in your body. So this is going to be a real grounding aspect. We're going to work on the pelvic floor. I'll give you a couple of options of how to sit. One could be that you sit on top of your heels. The other could be that you sit on top of a blanket. The other could be that you put something between, like a pillow or a bolster, and you sit on that. Or you could come into Sukhasana. And if you do Sukhasana, it'd be better to bend to fold your blanket. This is good for those of you that have a tighter body. If you try this position here, it helps to open up the hips when you come into Sukhasana. It opens up, kneecaps are pointing away from you, opening up and taking some of that tension out of the pelvic area, which will help release tension in the spine. So whatever position you're going to come into, we're going to do some pelvic floor work. I prefer to come into hero's pose with a block. So come into whatever you can. Closing your eyes, wherever you are. Close your eyes, arrive, feel, notice, and drop into your body. So the pelvic floor is like two hammocks, from the front of your lower body to the back and from the side to the side. And we're going to draw the edges of those hammocks towards the center and then lift them up towards the belly button. So open your eyes for 1 second. It's like this, right? One finger, the hammock, and you're going to draw them towards the center. So you draw towards center and then you lift up. The visuals I'll give you are either a silk scarf on the floor. If we were to pinch the center of the silk scarf, that would be that contraction. And then that lift, you feel that lift as you're activating the pelvic floor. That's one visual. The other visual is an egg, and I mean a real white egg. If you visualize that you're actually drawing, lifting that up, drawing it in, closing off, and lifting up towards your belly, this is upward movement, okay? And then I'll tell you that my teacher teaches it the way he learned in India. Squeeze the anal sphincter, draw in and up towards the upper part of your body. So whatever you need to do to feel in, contraction, and lift. This happens at the end of the exhale, so it doesn't happen with breath. It happens when you're not breathing. You inhale, you exhale, then you contract and lift as long as you can during your exhale, and then you inhale, you exhale, you contract and lift, all right? So hopefully that was explanatory, and you get it. All right, let's all exhale, let go. Inhale, do nothing. Exhale, do nothing. At the end of the exhale, contract, lift up, strong. Feel a strong, strong, strong contraction as long as you can hold it. And then inhale, exhale, activate. And then do 3 more of those. Last one. And then go ahead and let go. Open your eyes. So the question may be, am I doing it right? I don't know. As long as you feel a contraction and a lift, let's say yes. Especially if you bring in that visualization of the lifting and the 2 hammocks. All right, back down onto the ground we go. We will be finishing with Shavasana. So if you have any props you'd like to bring with you for your Shavasana, all right. Come down onto the ground, come onto your back, draw your knees into your chest. Rocking side to side. And maybe noticing here how your body feels. With the knees into the chest, notice if you feel any tension where the legs are attached to the body. So after doing a full practice, there's a lot of unblocking. And usually at the end of the practice, when you do this and you bring yourself into this flexion position, there's a little more acceptance in the body. And then you're going to bring yourself into whatever is the right Shavasana for you. It could be the legs are all the way straight, or you could prop yourself up on a bolster or legs up the wall. Whatever you would like to do. If you'd like to continue with the theme, inhale acceptance and exhale resistance. Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Hariyam Kariyam Nimame Akame Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Hariyam Kariyam Nimame Akame Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Hariyam Kariyam Nilame 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 Akame Bring your awareness to your fingers and your toes as you start to move them, to your ankles and your wrists, bending your knee one at a time and then drawing the knees into the chest. Rocking side to side, onto your side, pushing yourself away from the floor to bring yourself up to a seated position. We'll close the practice with sound. Let's use the sound Om, blending the ah, o, bringing that sound from the lower lobes to the middle to the upper lobes, from the back of the throat to the middle of the throat to the mouth, using sound to calm the mind, the body, and to connect mind, body, soul. Bring your hands together. Thumbs touch the sternum bone. Let's prepare by taking an exhale. Then inhale. Bowing in gratitude for this wisdom that we have to focus on acceptance, let go of resistance, to accept what is, to sing Ke Sara Sara, and to really adopt the feeling and the mindset of acceptance. So that as we let go of that resistance, we let go of suffering, because suffering is a choice. And we have the ability to choose. Let go of suffering. Namaste. Well, I want to say thank you. You know, today my husband said, do you want to just play a recording and not teach the class? And I said, no, I have to show up. Let me just try it. Let me see how it is. And I have to say, I was not without my suffering. I feel the joints of my this side of my face are inflamed. But I have to say it was great. It was a nice distraction to be here because now I'm going to wallow as I try to focus on acceptance and let go of resistance. Great, Lauren. Hope to see you on Monday, Lauren, if you're thinking of signing up for that. You're welcome, Michael. Yes, thank you. So great to have you here. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, like if you like. Yes, I hope so too. Thank you, George. I go on Instagram all the time now, posting things, and I found this cute little dancing skeleton with a pumpkin head, and I put him in a lot of my videos. So for those of you that have Instagram, it's Debbie Robinson Wellness. And let me write this here, okay? So Debbie, which is the same name as this channel, right? Trying to brand myself so it's easy to find me. Instagram. So today I did one on walking, and I played that song, you know, these boots are made for walking. That's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Okay, so that's there. And then what's the other thing? Oh, Kirtan Kriya. Kirtan Kriya is what we began class with. And it's with Neerajan Kaur, I believe her name is. Neerajan Kaur. Okay, let me show you this. Because if you're going to do this, like it would be great for you guys to do this because it's, you know, not always easy to do something by ourselves and we forget. So I want to give you this so that you'll remember what it is. Let's see. Okay, this is the visual when you go to it. So you have choices when you're looking for Kirtan Kriya. This is the one so that, and the singer is beautiful. So this is it right here. Kirtan Kriya, what does it say? Kirtan Kriya meditation. I love it. All right, and that's the visual of the person. So you'll do that Satanama. Try that. I haven't shared that for a while, but it's a really nice thing for you to have in your toolbox for relaxation and to keep your brain nice and limber. All right. Good. Yeah, Joanne, I actually thought about you a lot today during this class. And I did actually think that this message would resonate on a really deep level for you. So I hope that it's okay. And I hope that it's healing for you. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you whenever I see you. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.